Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of That's a Wrap. We are back in action. That's a Wrap has returned. For today, we are bringing you our non-spoiler review of Power Rangers.
Rocking the shirt.
That's right, we're rocking the shirts, we're rocking the gear. I'm Caboose XBL.
I'm Ender the Answer. And, you know, Caboose, this is one of those movies, I really, really wanted this movie to be good, like a lot of movies.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to get into what I think in a moment.
We'll get to that in a second. Two things, actually, before we get into the video. Number one, we would actually really appreciate it if you guys can leave a like on this video. It shows your support, and we really appreciate it. So, yeah, if you could leave a like, I would really appreciate that. And number two, we wanted to give a huge shout out to our good friend Christian. He's actually the one that hooked us up with the screening passes to see Power Rangers early. So thank you so much to Christian. His Twitter's going to be linked in the description. You can go follow him there. Let's jump into Power Rangers.
You're going to jump into this. You grew up with it. You go ahead and start. You had all the toys. You had everything. You're definitely the bigger geek here.
So there's a lot. Thank you very much for that. There's a lot of people out there, you know, they grew up with their Star Wars or whatever, their Star Trek. For me, it was Power Rangers and comic book stuff. And Power Rangers was my life as a kid. I don't remember.
And don't get me wrong. I played with the action figures and the toys with him. Don't get me wrong.
He was the one who showed me. Yes. So, but like, I can't remember from like age 3 to 7, I was dressing up as a Power Ranger every single Halloween. But this is it. This movie, watching it, seeing it in the theater, seeing these characters, the Zords and everything, it brought me back to when I was 5 years old on Saturday morning watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Holy
there's one really important thing I want to say. Watching this movie, I did not even think about the other dumpster fires. I didn't.
What do you mean?
I didn't.
Like,
the previous movies that they did.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think about it for 1 second, actually, until right now that I want to bring it up. I did not even think about them. So, you know, it's safe to say, what I was going to say a moment ago, I really wanted this movie to be good, and
it was.
It was.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So let's just jump into that. Let's just talk about what are the things that you liked about Power Rangers.
So we talk about the characters. You know, we break down the movie in a couple of pieces here. Obviously, the characters being very, very important. Yep. I thought the characters were great. I mean, you know, we mentioned in the car, these kids, and they are kids. Don't get me wrong. I want to look up their ages. These are kids. They had a ton of pressure on them. Yeah. Director, everybody involved in this movie had a ton of pressure. At the same time, maybe not so much because, I mean, it is Power Rangers. It's not one of the bigger movies that we always watch. So a ton of pressure, and the kids did a good job for being very, very young actors. Some of them commanded the presence on the screen more than others, and they focused on some more than others. I understand why. It's only a 2-hour movie, but overall, I think the kids did a very, very good job.
I got to agree with you. I mean, when you look at the actors in this film, none of them are big-name actors.
And I was asking you on the ride home, what have we seen them in? Have we seen them in anything?
So, and it's like, they're selling it off of the brand. Power Rangers is what's going to get people in the seats at the theaters, but these characters have to lift this movie up and
100%,
elevate it.
100%.
And they did exactly that. Every single actor, the kid playing Jason, Billy especially, probably my favorite character in the movie.
Definitely, he's definitely going to be a favorite for everyone.
All of them. Kimberly, they were all great. I really enjoyed the core team, the Power Rangers themselves. They were really great. They played off each other very well. They were so good. I really, really enjoyed them.
The only thing, I think it was, they rushed a few things because they had to. They had to get to, you know, the conclusion, the plot of the movie. There could have been a little more character development and stuff. I'm not really trying to nitpick, but we could see that more. And we could see it in the future.
Exactly. I think it's
some things that they just kind of quickly threw in there, quickly happened, and that was fine.
I feel like even then, like, every character gets their moment in this
They do get their moment, yes. They do get their
moment. I did enjoy that. I really like the characters. Now
they established that kind of Jason was the leader right from the beginning. They got that out of the way.
I think Billy was the best character in this movie. He was funny. He was like witty.
And every single time he was on the screen, he was on point.
Exactly.
I mean, he established it right from the beginning, and he kept that throughout the entire movie.
I really
kudos
love
to that kid.
I really love the actor playing Billy.
He was the focal point of, you know, what happens in the movie. He was very the focal point starting off the movie.
And there was a lot of like underlying themes and tones that they were trying to express. You know, bullying, things like that. You know,
that's an excellent point.
They didn't just try to make it like Power Rangers, big action explosions. You get that. Don't worry.
Love, family, bullying.
Yeah,
they did
really tried to touch on
team
some very
unity. They
tried to touch on some very important issues that needed to be brought up. It was an extremely diverse cast.
I really like Caboose that you brought that up, because a lot of people watching this movie won't notice that. You have so much fun in this movie. You're not noticing some of the important things that they're trying to tell you, and they really do.
And I was really happy with that. Now, okay, all movies aren't perfect. Now, jumping into our negatives, I think there's one negative that probably a lot of people are going to be complaining about in this movie.
They are.
Us especially.
Yes. And I'm going to get into the real detail of it.
Yeah, I'll let you go for it.
It was the villain. It was the villain. And I'm not even just talking about the character. I purely, honestly think she just was not a good actress.
Elizabeth Banks?
I really don't. I don't think Elizabeth Banks, I don't know if she did her homework, knew the role, knew what Rita's about. It just from seeing this scene, like, I was annoyed. I really was. Just she was trying to be menacing and maniacal.
See, my problem is, like, maybe if somebody was going to defend her and be like, "Oh, it's cheesy," and that's Power Rangers. But even in that, when you look at the tone that they're trying to present with the Power Rangers, and you got Zordon and Alpha 5 and everything, like, there's a tone that's there.
There's a fine line between cheesiness and doing a good acting.
But even then, with cheesiness, it's like such a weird juxtaposition every time she's on screen because she's so goofy, and it's just over the top, and it doesn't fit with what is going on with the
accent
Power
wasn't
Rangers.
working that
it was
well
not
either.
working.
Yeah,
I was really not feeling it. I mean, I'm not complaining too much. I was there for the Power Rangers, but it is Rita Repulsa. You know, when you watch the Power Rangers, you think of the Rangers and the villain, was always Rita Repulsa.
One good thing was, I mean, her costume was good. And just talking about costumes in general, they look great. Good, colorful, obviously futuristic movie. We're not going to be seeing no spandex
I wonder how much of it was CGI and how much was practical.
That's a very good point, because I have my gripes with CGI. It did look great.
It looked good. I did like the costumes overall, especially Rita's. She did look really good. And it's just the performance. Her as a villain just did not work.
And I mean, and it's not to nitpick, because we've all learned that villain is so important to a movie. It really is. And if they had a great villain, I mean, this movie, it was going to get an extremely high rating from myself. Again, the villain is an important focal part, and it did not hit home in this one.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there.
Even kind of that henchman villain for what she has kind of in the movie did not work too well either.
Goldar, who we see in the trailers, that didn't work for me either. But overall, I had a really fun time with Power Rangers. The action was good. The Zords were pretty cool.
Yes.
Let's give our scores out of 10. What do you give Power Rangers out of 10?
I give Power Rangers a 7 out of 10.
I'm going to give Power Rangers an 8 out of 10. I had a really good time with this movie. I thought overall, beginning to end, it was just a fun ride. Yes. People were cheering and just having a good time.
There's going to be a lot of moments where you're going to get a lot of goosebumps. That's for sure. Yeah. A lot of moments where you're just going to want to stand up and clap.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right, I mean, overall, it was a nice breath of fresh air. There's a lot of serious movies that come out lately, and this was just a fun ride.
It really was. And believe me, they have the makings here, if there is a sequel, to be an incredible sequel.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And one thing that we also wanted to mention, no spoilers, when the credits start rolling, don't get up. Sit and wait. There is something that is worth waiting.
I think that should just be a given going forward all the time.
All these
just stay right to the stinking end. You never know what's going to come up.
Yeah. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for joining us for our review of Power Rangers. We want to know what you guys think, though. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think of Power Rangers? We want to hear what you guys think. Once again, if you can leave a like on this video, we would really appreciate it. I'm Caboose XBL.
I'm Enter the Answer.
And you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Those links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new.
That's a wrap.